We are live, everybody. Oh wait, I gotta get the music going.
Ah, nice, yeah. I
Gotta
like
get
how
the
this I like how this one started with me complaining.
literally the first words you said. You're like
Ah, god damn it.
ah. Oh lordy, lordy, lordy.
Hello, party people.
Hello, 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 all you lovely, loverly people.
Lover.
We got some good topics to talk about today. Uh, we got news from a lot of news from EA. Because they had their EA Play Live event yesterday. We also
Yes.
have a little bit more news about the Steam Deck. We've been finding more and more details out about it. A little bit more news.
And it
Uh,
just keeps getting better.
and we got a little bit more clarification on Windows 11. Uh, we have a little bit of strange news when it comes to Amazon's new MMO. New
Oh
World.
my
We'll
god.
talk about that. We got a bunch of gaming news to get into as well. We got a bunch of anime news too. Not a bunch, but a
Yeah.
fair,
More than we had
a
more than we've had
considerable,
before.
a
It's just we
considerable amount,
dabble. We dabble.
a considerable amount. And then there's a big scandal with Activision Blizzard being sued by the state of California for promoting a workplace of sexual harassment. So we will dig into that big chungus topic in a little bit. But right now, I actually want to start
Oh,
off.
we're starting with tech.
Yeah,
Because
starting
you've got a big thing to
yeah,
say.
we're starting
so.
off. We're starting off with something a little bit more serious than I would like, but I feel like it just needs to be said. If any of you do not have two-factor authentication and any other methods of account protection where your social media or any of your like online marketplaces like your Amazons, your Newegg, your Target, your Walmart, anything like that, your Best Buy even, anything like that, like if you don't have two-factor authentication placed on those, I cannot recommend enough that you should. And I'm speaking from experience, and you can probably tell by my
Day
hush,
experience.
and you could probably tell by my hushed tone that it's a little bit, my vibe is a little strange what I'm putting out there, and that's because my Facebook account was recently hacked, and I mean recently as in the past 2 weeks, but apparently it went unnoticed by me because I don't use Facebook that much, and eventually when I went to use
Because
my
he's not a boomer like me.
and then eventually when I went to use my Quest 2, which is tied to my Facebook account, it was asking me to log in again, and then it told me my email and my password were incorrect, and to my knowledge I had not reset it in a good long while. Upon further inspection, I go into the Facebook app, which is where I usually log in to like check the few times that I do a month, and I see that I'm logged out there as well, which is strange for me because
That's a huge red flag.
I'm usually logged in there all the time anyway, just because like I usually don't log out of apps on my phone just because it's quicker, more easier for me to get into. But I was like, oh, okay, maybe I just forgot my password, or I forgot that I reset it. But I go to reset the password because it's usually a painful enough process to like get that reset. So I go to reset it, and then I look, and the email address that's listed is not my email for my Facebook account. It is not the same email. It had been changed, and I wasn't the one who changed it. So immediately I have red flags going off, and I'm like, oh, someone got into my Facebook account. Okay. And I'm like, okay, maybe they didn't change the password yet. Maybe they just changed the email. And then I try cracking every known password that I've ever used on any social media and any account that I have, period, and nothing works. So I then go to Facebook has this little thing where Facebook has this little like link you can go to if you suspect your account was hacked. It's literally facebook.com/hacked. And You can
Salt in the wound, honestly.
You can click my. You can click. What is it? My account has been compromised, or it's an option like that, and you're supposed. And then supposedly you're able to like reclaim your account. The problem is, they need your email for that. And if they don't have your email for that, then they definitely need your phone number for that. But one of the reasons I don't use Facebook is because it is a piss poor user interface experience. Like, it is ancient. It looks like it's still running on, like...
It's just tabs on tabs on tabs,
it's
honestly.
still, it looks like Windows 7 in an app, but in an app format. It looks atrocious for 2021. Like,
the truth hurts.
It looks like it's still in 2008, and I'm so upset by it. But, like, what the reason I bring that up is because my account has been compromised option for me every time I went to reset it with the phone number, because apparently the phone number was still tied to the account, and whoever hacked my account was kind of an amateur. Like, they knew to change the email, but basically nothing else. So
absolutely need it.
But that's why it's so frustrating that I can't recover it, because they were an amateur. So I feel like I was like bested by a loser. But I tried resetting with my phone number, and it's like, oh, we blocked your account because we suspect suspicious activity. And I was like, okay, I can't get in this way either. So I can't get in through my phone number. I can't get in through my email. And eventually I just run out all the options I have, and I'm forced to I'm forced to email directly the Facebook security team, which I didn't even know existed, because I didn't think Facebook had a security department, because I thought it was mainly like chickens and goats over there banging on keyboards. But apparently they do, and I sent them an email as soon as I found out about the hack, and no response. And I read a bunch of online forums. I went to Reddit. I went to the Facebook support page, and they all say you're probably not going to hear back from them, just because like they don't answer emails. They send automated ones. They don't answer those back. And I was like, oh, okay. So worst case scenario has happened, and I can't recover my Facebook account. So I was forced to make a new one, which means that all my memories are gone. All of the photos I had ever posted were gone. All of my entire friends list was gone, and I now have lost access to all of the games in my Quest 2. Which wasn't actually that many. I think I owned like maybe 5 or 6 games. So like, it's not the end of the world. It's only like about $150 worth of games, I'd say. But still, it's still disappointing.
Yeah, that's like $80 to $90 into Beat Saber that you've lost.
No, that's more. It's more than that, because I owned every DLC pack. So like, that
was my attempt to make light, but it's in the mud.
It's all right. But like, the thing that upset me the most was like not having access to any of the memories anymore, because like, when it comes down to it, I can refriend everybody that I want to friend. I can buy the games back just by making a new Oculus account and linking it to a different Facebook email. Like, there's workarounds with that, but the fact that I'm now never going to be able to see those memories that I had on Facebook again, that was really one of the only reasons I ever went to Facebook, was to get reminded of,
not like, the only, except posting
for the videos. Channel, and like looking for garage sales on Facebook Marketplace. Like, those are literally the only reasons I go on Facebook. And just the fact that I will not be able to see those memories anymore is a huge, huge bummer. But the reason I gave that long-winded explanation of what happened to me is because I cannot advocate enough that everybody and their mother or father or soap sponge go and enable two-factor authentication on literally every account you own.
The second Kevin texted me about it, I was like, "All right, time to lock down, like double down on lockdown."
Literally every account you own, you should have this enabled, because I usually pride myself on security. I usually like am pretty good about that sort of thing. Like I'm pretty paranoid when it comes to tech anyway, so like I usually protect myself. But Facebook is the one where I didn't, because for one thing, I didn't think people hacked Facebooks anymore because I didn't think there was a point to it. But clearly there is, as the person was trying to access my Oculus library, and they got it. Except for the fact that they can't use my card information because it's on a card that doesn't exist anymore. So the whole thing for them was basically for naught.
Idiot. Oh.
They just so in the end, that's the one saving grace, in that they wasted a whole bunch of time hacking my account and gaining control of it. In the end, just to like actually achieve nothing, in that they still have to pay their own money for
just to have
all
a
the
Beat
games.
Saber simulator and nothing more.
They can't even do. Who's to say they even know how to? I mean, they hacked my emails, or they hacked my Facebook account. I assume they know how to install BMBF. I'm just assuming, but yeah, enable two-factor authentication on literally everything you own. And Facebook is like, I can't stress this enough. I think I'm gonna make a video about this next week. Like I want to make. I'm gonna start making videos again next week. It's just like the past few weeks I've been covering at work for people, and it's just been a lot of stuff. But
this past week I had taken on an extra day of my week, and I have just been even more exhausted now. Like last night I passed out right after dinner.
Yeah, but I think I'm gonna make. I really want to make a video about that next week, like why it's necessary in 2021 to enable two-factor authentication on any account of value that you have, any like you deem of having value that you have, because you literally don't worry about it until you can't access these things anymore. Like the reason I didn't enable two-factor authentication on Facebook was because I didn't think I needed to. I didn't think I would ever not be able to recover anything. I didn't think I would be able to like literally not touch anything inside my Facebook account anymore. But that is the reality, and that's in the end, I blame myself for it. But I also think Facebook shares part of the blame, since that their response is like, oh, you don't have your email, you don't have your phone number. Sorry, I guess. Make a new account. Sorry about the like. I'm young, so like thankfully I didn't have like decades worth of memories on Facebook. For people who are like middle aged, who are like are gonna use Facebook long term, I can't imagine something like this happening to them. Like this is that would just be, that would break my heart. Like just to realize that like they had thousands and thousands of photographs that they don't have access to anymore. That's another thing.
Yeah, like
that's another thing. Back up your photos, back up everything, and your documents, your files. Good backup practice is always a safe bet, because like again, it's not a problem until it is, and then it's a very big problem. So like you really should do yourself a favor. You might not care.
That's a great way of putting it. It's not a problem until it's the problem.
Yeah.
The problem.
And you might not care. Like I didn't care about Facebook. I didn't care necessarily what happened in the moment. Trust me, you'll care later. You'll care when you can't get into literally anything you own anymore. I'm not saying this. Thankfully, this only happened on Facebook to me, but I'm double checking every account, literally every account I own, making sure everything that has a two-factor authentication option, or anything that has an authentication app option, I am enabling it, because I am not fucking around anymore with security. I wasn't before, but now I'm really not. Like anyone that like, I recommend everyone get a VPN too, because that could like protect your IP address, and that could protect like your location as well. I think there's a lot of value in that, but there's so much value in two-factor authentication in that it doesn't cost anything more. Like it's a free feature built in, and it provides so much protection. Because the person is essentially the person that's hacking you. Hypothetically, you get hacked, you have two-factor authentication enabled. They're stopped dead in their tracks. They can't do anything. Like you're protected by that. That's why I think everyone should do it. And that's all. Oh, Spencer, no way. Oh my god. Yeah, Nintendo's another example. I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's rough. That's so.
No, you said Spencer, no way, and I looked because I have the stream up, and there's a probably like a 15-second delay, so I saw those messages come up. That is absolutely awful.
Yeah, Nintendo is another one. They don't have two-factor authentication to my knowledge. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, man, like biometric ID is another one. Like if you're on, especially if you like log in on your phone a lot of times, like if it has a biometric ID option, like I'm so glad my bank has that protection because that's all I use now.
Oh, Face ID is lifesaver.
No, Face ID. I'm not even talking about Face ID. I'm talking about your fingerprint.
Oh,
I'm talking about like.
Oh, you got the money back. Thank God.
You got the money back. That's good. That's good. I'm glad you were able to get the money back. Yeah, but like. That's another thing. Like these companies, like, not necessarily so much with game companies, mainly with social media companies. I feel like where the real problem lies. Game companies are guilty of this to some extent too, but especially like social media companies, like giants.
I do have a friend from school whose Steam account was hacked, lost hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Steam is a hard,
and it took him years contesting it for him to finally get it back. I remember him talking about it so much, and one day he was like, I finally got it back. And
Steam is another one.
They had tanked his essentially like Reddit karma in League of Legends. Like he was all the way down in the gutter because of it, and he is slowly, because he's a big League player, so he had to slowly work his way back up.
Yeah, that's rough. Steam is a tough one because at least there is a last resort on like platforms like Facebook or Instagram, in that if you provide, in extreme circumstances, you can provide a driver's license photo or a passport photo to prove you are who you say you are. But one, that's if you get a reply from them, which many people don't. I myself didn't. And Steam doesn't have that privilege. Because Steam is tied to usernames and not real identities, you can't actually... It's very hard. That's the reason it took so long for him to get that resolved, Jared, is because on a Steam, it's... You kind of have a hard time proving you are who you say you are. Because it's just a username. That's why it's so difficult. It's not tied to real identity.
Mm-hmm. Which is why it's why like services like Steam it's even worse. So all the more reason to set up as much security as you can.
Yeah, Steam has pretty.
Because it really can happen to
Steam has pretty good protection in my experience. And like again, I'm gonna double check everything just to make sure that like you have all these things enabled. But yeah, it sucks. I can't access my Quest 2 right now. I'll have to make probably a new Oculus account and change the email on my Facebook so that it doesn't think that my current Oculus account is tied to this Facebook. It's just, this is just such a nightmare. I really hope no one else goes through this. But yeah, that's just my big PSA. I talked more about that than I wanted to. But yeah,
right, so
enable that.
Topics gone for a little bit. We have some other serious topics we're gonna touch on, but Kevin, talk about potentially serious topics for other people that aren't us because we're poor.
Okay, so this is a new one. So Amazon recently released their MMO, massive online multiplayer, called New World. And
Shinsekai! Sorry, continue.
And apparently, people with RTX 3090s trying to play the game.
Top of the line, 3090s.
Trying to play the game, the beta, it's not even in full release yet. This is just the beta. People with RTX 3090s have apparently been getting their GPUs bricked from trying to play this game. That to me is even more of a nightmare. Because it's not from playing the game. Some are reporting that the GPU is actually failing just in the starting menu. And I've seen many theories about this. Most people, from what I seem to gather, everyone thinks it's an FPS spike, which happens in a lot of games. It happens in Doom Eternal, where like for like literally under a second, your FPS will shoot up to a couple thousand. But obviously that's not real. It's just like it's causing the card to work harder than it's ever worked before. And I think the reason that these GPUs are failing is because the dies on the PCB on the back of the card are getting so hot, it's literally causing a thermal failure. And it's frying the dies. That's what I understand. That's what I understand from the situation. And actually, these are primarily EVGA 3090s that these are happening to. EVGA went on record saying that they will replace every one of these 3090s, which I commend them.
Oh, that's so, yeah, I commend that.
Which I commend them for. Amazon, fuck you, because you basically said, Amazon
basically said, there isn't enough of a chip shortage. Let's release a game that destroys all of the chips.
No, I'm not even talking about that. They basically said, yeah, we're not aware of this issue. Sorry that this is happening to you, but maybe enable VSync, which they already were, and this was still happening to other cards than 3090s.
Yeah, this game's in beta. Amazon and
they were like,
better fix this.
They were like, maybe enable VSync and like FPS caps. I don't know what to tell you. Get fucked. Like, sorry, sorry that your GPU sucks.
Why is Amazon insufferable?
It's just it's an egotism, I think, that like they think that the problem lies. Oh, EVGA is the best. They take care of their customers. I love EVGA. But yeah, Amazon. In short, Amazon doesn't care about its customers.
Amazon doesn't care about its employees.
EVGA cares about everyone. They're like, we got you guys. We'll give you new 3090s.
EVGA customer support is the Dolly Parton of celebrities.
The
Dolly Parton of computer hardware developers.
I love them. Do you want to talk about Steam and PlayStation being down? I talked for a little bit. I talked for a long time.
Yesterday there was I'm not sure if it was a hack or not, but there was this huge outage of like social media and online features for a bunch of stuff. And for us gaming boys, we were both at work, thankfully, at the time. So by the time we got home, the problem had been solved. But Steam and PlayStation were down for over an hour yesterday, July 22nd.
To my understanding, it was not Steam overall. It was just the storefront, so you couldn't buy or download any games. But the games you had downloaded, they would launch fine.
Yeah. Which makes sense, but still.
But
like this,
that means achievements weren't synced as well. So if you got achievements, they might not have shown up. But Sony, the PlayStation Network, that was down entirely. The Fortnite servers were down entirely, and I think the reason for this is because all of these things, they might use the same back-end servers, which is why they all went down at the same time. I think that was the reason for that. But I don't know that for sure, but I'm glad they're back up now. Enable two-factor authentication just in case. I am so paranoid now. Literally everything you own. Everything that anything is tied to.
Yeah.
Ooh. I'm gonna talk about the Steam Deck some more.
I scrolled down on our doc a little bit because I'm gonna follow what you talk about the Steam Deck with what I found about the Steam Deck, which is just a fucking flex.
Okay.
On other handheld consoles.
Apparently the Steam Deck it was like recently reported that the SSD in the upper 2-tier models, not the base one that starts at $399 that just has eMMC memory, but the ones that have NVMe SSDs in them are apparently replaceable, which we were led to believe that they weren't before. But apparently, it is not going to be easy. It's not going to be like popping in a micro SD card just in the top of your Switch, or just in the bottom of your Switch, and then you're good to go. No, it's not going to be that simple. Someone at Valve was quoted as saying, "The repairability is something we did actually focus on and try to make it as repairable as possible, but it's really meant for people who know what they're doing and have experience doing it." So people who have experience working on computers and building their own systems, sounds like you're going to be okay. If you buy an SSD and you like want to upgrade it or replace the one that's currently in yours, maybe just because you want some faster storage, not necessarily more, although I don't know why you would pay for just speed and not more space when it would be more expensive anyway. But it sounds like if you're a DIY builder and you build your own PCs, or you at least have experience working on PCs, then you should at least be okay.
And if you don't have the experience, wait for a YouTube tutorial explaining how to do it.
It is extremely likely, however, that the warranty will be voided if you attempt to remove the SSD in this way. Which some people are comfortable doing that. For people that buy the $649 model, I don't know. You might want, if you don't have experience working on that, you might want to just stick with the tread with caution is all I'm saying, because I've had butterfinger hands when I've worked on hardware and a few years ago, and like
I have shaky hands. I'm not going to be a doctor. I'm not going to be a Steam Deck surgeon.
Not
in
gonna
the
be
near future.
I'll upgrade.
No way.
I'll upgrade your Steam Deck for you if you're comfortable with that.
I found out I rescinded the $5 down payment on the middle one, and I bumped it up to.
Did you actually?
Mod. I did.
Did you actually?
You convinced me last week. You convinced me last week.
Wait. Did you? If you go on Steam, so if you guys go on Steam, if you have reserved a Steam Deck, and if you go on like directly the Steam storefront and you click on the Steam Deck product page, it should show you under the model you reserved. It should show you your estimated delivery date. Do you remember your estimated delivery date?
I have not. I'll have to look after,
because you might actually not get it for a while now because you changed your reservation.
Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. Before last week, I had not reserved the middle one. I was lying, and so after the stream, I reserved the top model.
I had a
I'm sorry. I'm a fake gamer.
I had a feeling. Now you're a real fake gamer for lying to me.
Real fake gamers won't open.
But apparently, first of all, another thing I wanted to talk about is apparently, shocker, the Steam Deck sold out almost immediately. Reservations went out almost immediately. I'm surprised you were able to get one after we went live last week.
Yeah, I was very grateful.
It was probably because people were doing the same thing and like same thing you were thinking of and changing the model they wanted. That's my guess as to why you were able to be successful. But apparently, now if you place a reservation,
my expected order availability is Q2 2022.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like the earliest now for the highest end model is Q2 2022. That's your expected delivery date now. But for me, since I ordered, so I reserved the highest end model literally a minute after the orders went live. And supposedly, it is going to be delivered here by December.
Oh, Jesus.
But by the end of December. So I'm going to get it a solid 6 months before you do.
God damn it!
It's just like the PS5 all over again.
Shut up! Shut up! You... On top of your bull... Man.
On top of my bull, man. But yeah, anyone who's ordering a Steam Deck, and reservations keep getting pushed back. I've seen pre-orders, I've seen reports going up as getting pushed back to as far as Q3 2023 so far. So that's 2023. Q3. Oh no, Q3 2022. Sorry, not 2023.
I was like, Jesus, that's a big jump.
Not 2023, but Q3 2022. So some people aren't going to get this until minimum September next year.
Oh
no, wait, August next year. July next year. That's Q3. Sorry, I'm thinking.
Business. July through September is Q3.
I'm thinking business speak. Oh, and Q2 for you would be
earliest April.
Yeah, April. April, so I'd have it a solid 4 months before you. Still,
Still.
not ideal.
All right. But so yeah, are you finished with your Steam Deck talk?
Yeah, I'm finished. You talk about the Steam Deck for a bit.
All right. So, in the last couple days, Valve has come out saying they have yet to find a single game that doesn't run on the Steam Deck. Consumers were worried about intensive online multiplayer games, and Valve has squashed those concerns, saying that they're still looking. They've got thousands of games, but all of the games
To my knowledge, the total game count on Steam, like total all encompassing how many games you can buy on Steam, is over 24,000.
Yeah, so they're still looking, but I'm very certain they started with the heavy intensive / popular games and reassuring people that those, like with a high online multiplayer base, that it's still able to run.
So they actually squashed those concerns, so you could play like Apex,
no
problem.
They have yet to find a single game that does not run on a Steam Deck.
Oh, I guess they got around that because do you know the reason why people were speculating that might not work?
Why?
Is because with Linux specifically, which is the OS that the Steam Deck is running on, is Steam OS, which is a version of Linux that Valve tinkered with and made their own. The reason that they were concerned is because Linux does not do anti-cheat. It doesn't have Windows provisions for anti-cheat systems in it. But apparently, in 2018, Valve came out with Proton compatibility layer for Windows games, so you could play Windows games on Linux with no problem whatsoever.
Okay, cool.
And they've kept adding support ever since. So apparently, they must have gotten a workaround for the anti-cheat thing as well, because like I didn't even know.
I'm excited to hear about it in the near future.
I didn't even know what you said. That was news to me what you just said. I thought we still weren't going to be able to play Apex on the Steam Deck. Not that I will, because the button layout just isn't ideal for that sort of game.
But I actually didn't add this to the doc, but I remember it and I read it and I like laughed out loud because Valve, one of their major concerns is with the Steam Deck is to avoid Joy-Con drift. They are going to put in a lot of effort to ensure that doesn't happen, which I was just like, interesting.
And supposedly they're more likely to succeed too, because one, these look like they're made of a higher quality silicon than the Switch ones. They're not as cheap in plastic as the ones Nintendo has. Sorry, Nintendo. Some of your stuff is cheap, and you just make people pay out the ass for it. But they also have you heard about capacitive touch with these things?
Capacitive touch? No.
Do you know what that means?
No.
It's sort of like the DualSense in that.
I was gonna add. It kind of sounds like it's in the same energy.
It's sort of like the adaptive triggers, but in reverse. So instead of adapting to how hard to like a specific action in the game, the triggers will be able to tell how hard you're pressing on the joysticks and from which direction. Okay. So it's sort of like the idea of the adaptive triggers, but in reverse, which I think is very fascinating.
I'm curious to see how that would play out.
And supposedly, it's gonna have something to do with how much resistance. These are adaptive triggers too, apparently. Or adaptive joysticks too. Apparently, the tension.
New norm, baby.
Apparently, the tension in the joystick is gonna respond to the capacity of the touch. So it's going to adjust to how tough it is to move and stuff like that, which will prevent drift because you won't have to slam on the joystick every time you need to go do a super light thing, and it'll adjust accordingly, which is good to prevent Joy-Con drift. So I think if anyone can prevent Joy-Con drift in a handheld, it's Valve.
So yeah, more shitting on Nintendo from us.
Nintendo still doesn't know how to fix it, and the Switch has been out for almost 5 years. They got sued over it so many times. It's
and they're
ridiculous.
still gonna do it because they don't want to figure it
Even
out.
Sony is getting sued over their DualSenses right now because they're having DualSense drift too.
Oh shit!
Yeah, Sony's getting, like, nobody's talking about it because, like, it's not happening to as many people as Joy-Cons, but like,
I can't wait until the news comes out that the Switch OLED is starting with Joy-Con drift. It's gonna be so funny.
it's gonna be so funny.
Can't wait.
I'm so excited.
But yeah, so that was all of the news on the Steam Deck, I believe. Yeah.
That's all the Steam Deck news, and I wanted to touch briefly on Windows 11 just to give you guys a bit of advice on if you're planning to upgrade to Windows 11 from Windows 10 or whatever other operating system, Windows or Linux you might have, and you just want to go to Windows 11. So the two biggest things with Windows 11 is you need TPM, Trusted Platform Module, enabled. 2.0, TPM 2.0 enabled, and you need to have Secure Boot enabled in your BIOS. So Secure Boot is a setting in your BIOS that basically does what it says. It's a secure way of booting to your OS, and it's only available in Windows in UEFI mode. That's a specific mode in your BIOS that is tied to only to Secure Boot. Say you want to. Say you want UEFI. Say you want to run legacy mode, can't do it. Secure Boot won't support it. So if you're running legacy mode in your BIOS, you can change that to UEFI mode. Make sure to back up all your files just in case. Because like I practice good backups, and I'm always like, I don't want to lose any of my files. So I always back up before I tinker with the BIOS at all. Because like in the event that something happens, I at least know that everything is I didn't lose anything. But it's a setting you enable in your BIOS. You turn it on UEFI mode. You turn on Secure Boot. You're good to go. And then the TPM thing. So most people actually I'm not going to say most people. A lot of people who have Intel boards. A lot of people who have Intel and AMD boards already have TPM built in to their motherboards. You just have to go enable it. It's another setting in your BIOS. So a lot of this can be done through your BIOS. But if you don't have it in your settings, I forget what it's called I forget what TPM is called in an Intel BIOS, but in AMD ones it's called FTPM. So just go enable that setting. You should be fine. You should be good, ready to go to Windows 11. However, practice good backups and save your backup keys when you do this, because the FTPM, the integrated firmware TPM that's in these motherboards, is tied directly to the motherboard and the CPU. So it is likely, in the event of an upgrade or replacement of a CPU or motherboard, you could break your Windows install. And you have to do a full Windows 11 reinstall. Which is why you would, one, back up your files, because you're a responsible person, right? And why you would, two, save your backup product keys for your Windows license so you don't have to pay for a second Windows license.
It sounds like he's talking to chat here, but he's talking directly to me.
No, I'm talking to everyone. That's
I felt targeted.
That's all I want to say about that. I'm planning on making a video when Windows 11 is closer to release, just so that everyone knows what
just a quick refresher, quick reminder, being like, hey, careful.
What they need to worry about, because like a lot of people are going to end up erasing their files and having a very, very bad time. So I just want to prevent as much of that as possible. All right, talk about anime.
All right, sweet. So, new popular series out. It's been out for a while now. Not new popular series, but it's taking storm right now. But Dr. Stone, the manga, is about to take a 1-week hiatus due to research. And knowing Dr. Stone, it is very in-depth when it comes to real world science and application into the series. How, like, because that's the whole premise, where entire planet was turned to stone one day, and one person wakes up, a science student in Japan, and is like, humanity spent millions of years working its way up to the modern age. We're going to sprint back to the top. and he's just like super science and just making all these cool things in like a Stone Age essentially. And the fact that the Dr. Stone creators are taking a week off to do research, expect some heavy science stuff, heavy science content in the coming chapters. I can't wait. It's gonna be so cool. Also, the Tokyo Olympics started this morning. I think it was like 6:30 this morning because Tokyo is 13 hours ahead. It'll be airing.
It's not having spectators, right?
Yeah, no, like the stadium's like almost completely empty.
Because of COVID.
Yep. It'll be airing tonight at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, starting with like the opening ceremonies. But I specifically want to touch on the Parade of Nations because the Tokyo Parade of Nations features music from a bunch of Japanese games. To name a few, Kingdom Hearts, Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, the Nier series, Monster Hunter, and Sonic the Hedgehog. And there's a few more too, but those are the big names that a lot of people are more likely to know. Also, one of the songs that would played right after the Parade of Nations was a song by Michiho Yamagami and Kunihiko Murai. It's a folk song called Tsubasa o Kudasai, and which has been featured as like covered in the Evangelion series and in Dragon Ball Z Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan, and several others. But so yeah, that's I wanted to surprise you with that, Kevin, because you're like, oh, that's probably your favorite anime movie of all time, the Broly movie. It was awesome.
Sounds great.
Yeah, as I mentioned, American rebroadcast starts tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I can't wait to watch it when I come over to your place. Also, I mean, you know what? You say this anime news.
Why me?
Because it's super.
All right, so we officially now have a title for the leaked Dragon Ball Super movie that is coming out in 2022. It is called Dragon Ball Super Superheroes, which I'm just like...
Superheroes plural or superheroes singular?
Superhero, sorry, not super.
Dragon Ball Superhero.
We got some leaked screenshots, so go show those.
Oh, actually, hold on. I want to see these screenshots.
So go show those if you wanna see more of that.
I see some character Ooh, those guys look interesting. Hell yeah, Krillin Police, let's go.
Krillin Cop. We got some shots of Krillin Cop. We got some shots of Goku as always, as expected.
Some character models of Goku and Piccolo, and then some new characters, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we heard about this from San Diego Comic-Con earlier today. Because San Diego Comic-Con is going on currently, so that's where we heard it from. This film is serving as a direct continuation of Super from Broly.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
It all connects, so that makes me believe sometime in 2023, maybe 2024, Dragon Ball Super might come back from hiatus.
Oh, absolutely, because it had stopped producing in 2018 because Toei was like, okay, there's enough chapters out, let's get back to One Piece.
Yeah, because they're at the point now, right now they're at the point where they have more chapters right now than they did when they started the series back in 2015. So they have so much content that they're going to be able to do, and if they're not planning to release anything in between now and the movie, they're going to have so many more chapters as well.
Yeah, I mean, even if say they just animate the Galactic Prison Break arc,
that's like a good like 30, 40 episodes at least.
I was maybe overshooting. I realized how short it was in the manga comparison.
We're not going Dragon Ball Z length here.
Fair.
But like the reason it's taking so long is one of the things that Toei prides itself on, at least with Super. They were kind of guilty of this in Dragon Ball Z. Not really. Like they weren't as bad as other anime. But like in Super, it was particularly low on filler content. Most of the stuff you saw was canon. And I think that's something that the artistic team.
Yeah, no, Toei really prides himself in that now because I can probably count on two hands the amount of filler episodes in One Piece, which is cool, but also terrifying.
Like it's like
because it's
you have a lot to watch.
Over 970 episodes of canon.
Yeah, it's like you must watch it if you want to know everything.
There's so much to know.
But yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm super excited to go see the movie. I'm gonna be pre-ordering tickets as soon as they go live.
Oh yeah. All right. And now to get into the meat and potatoes of today's stream, the gaming section, because boy was there a lot of gaming news this week.
All from EA Play Live's event. The following stuff, not all the gaming news, but a lot of the gaming news is from EA Play Live from yesterday. So Jared, take it away with the first time.
I was gonna say I can do like the first. I'll do the first two. You do the second two, because you probably know more about the second two than I do.
Sounds good.
So, the 4 games announced / talked about at EA Play Live. We didn't get Skate 4. It was a tragedy. I know. But one of them, the first one that I'll touch on is Grid Legends. It's I'm describing it as the most realistic racing game to date, solely because it uses live action performances in it as well as in-game action.
I wonder what the budget for this was.
I'm not sure, but it also the grid.
We'll get to that, Spencer. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. It's coming.
Oh yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
It uses the same virtual set tech as the Disney Plus series The Mandalorian, and I haven't read into what the tech is specifically does. Senior gameplay designer said Codemasters harnessed the same extended reality tech that was used to create the world of Mandalorian. So I'm pretty sure that it's like a technology or an AI that blends. It's to help blend reality into CGI or rendered stuff.
Basically,
it actually sounds like you're gonna be playing a movie because there's live action performances from known racers.
That's that's a little the headline's a little, or not the headline, but the subject of the article is a little misleading. Since it's implying that it's a revolutionary tech that was used in The Mandalorian, which is kind of true, kind of false, because the underlying technology of it was around for decades. I believe
it just really hasn't been utilized in this sense before. I don't
think
it's
the Mandalorian.
The first game.
The Mandalorian was the Mandalorian was the best they have ever got it, and now it's going to be used in a game format, which I am very excited to see, and I have no doubt
it might be the first racing game I ever actually buy. Honestly,
no, first racing game I'm going to buy. Actually, I won't have to because it's coming to Game Pass day 1. Forza Horizon 5. If you haven't seen Forza Horizon 5, it looks so good. Go. I'm gonna.
All right, so I kind of want to do this going forward, but when we talk about new game releases, Kevin, is this a cop for you? Are you gonna pick this up? Grid Legends.
Grid Legends.
Yeah. You gonna play?
I mean, it's EA, and
you're gonna say that for every single one of the games that we're about to talk about.
No, I'm not. I mean, maybe, but I don't know. I think
I'm gonna check it out.
I think they're sort of on an upswing, because I think their lowest point ever was Battlefield 2040, or not Battlefield 2042.
Whoa! Now
I think their lowest point ever where they sunk
Battlefield 5.
No, not Battlefield 5. Dude, they got so much lower than Battlefield 5. Battlefront 2.
Oh yeah,
Star Wars Battlefront 2. That was EA's lowest point in history. That was the dark times. That was the dark ages.
The dark ages of microtransactions. And now
not even the game was broken upon release. And they were like, yeah, pay $40 extra to unlock all the shit that you need.
Man. Well, I'm going to check it out. And like you said, if it's on Game Pass day 1, sweet. I'll try it out for a day.
It very well might be, because EA has been porting some of their most popular titles to Game Pass. So we'll see what happens there. We'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, Grid Legends, I'm interested. I'm interested.
The next one I want to talk about, I'm actually really excited for. I missed the EA event that you watched it because you had like nothing going on at work, but I was running around like a madman. Lost in Random. It's a beautiful game of chance that pays homage to stop motion animation and dark fairy tales. And just from those two and the Polygon article that I read, it's like, the creative director of this must have grown up a Tim Burton fan. Nice. Same. It looks really good, and I like just seeing the trailer that they released. I could see both of the homages, like the stop motion animation. It looks almost like a clay animation game, but it's not. But I mentioned it's a game of chance because your companion through the game is a anthropomorphic D6. It's just like it's a die named Dicey, and you roll Dicey in the game, and depending on what comes up, it like certain effects in battle. It looks like a really cool, not spooky, but a really cool. What's the word I'm looking for? Dark fairy tale-esque adventure / puzzle game, but there is combat. Like the character you play as has like a slingshot and occasionally other weapons depending on what you roll with Dicey. But yeah, so it looks really good. Release date September 10th, 2021, just in time for spooky season. That would be a nice lead-in because it's not really spooky, but a little mysterious.
EA has been acquiring a lot of smaller studios that publish really good indie titles, so this could be pretty good if you're a big...
It looks really good. It's the studio that made Faye, which is a game I didn't know existed, but this one I feel like this might put them on the map.
Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it.
It's a must cop from me. I'll let you know because I know I don't know if it's up in like in your lane of games. It kind of like not as dark and gruesome, but same energy as like Alice Madness Returns type of thing.
Oh, okay.
It's like dark. Yeah, I keep saying it, but they nailed it so well. It's like a dark fairy tale.
It's like a dark fairy tale. Oh, okay. I'll keep an eye on it. I don't know if I end up picking it up. Might not might not be for me, but I'll see. I'll see about it.
All right. Before Kevin even starts talking about it, the next two must cops from both of us.
Day one drops.
Especially day one must buys.
We got some pricing info about one of them too. So apparently, Spencer, I hope you're listening. Battlefield 2042 has a secret third mode. It is called Battlefield Portal.
Portal mode, baby.
What Portal mode is apparently it's all about community interaction and user-created content. What this essentially means is the players can literally create matches of their own that support the full server size of matches, which is 128 players on PC, Xbox Series consoles, and PS5. Older gen hardware is capped at 64 players, unfortunately. But that means you could have large-scale battles that you create from the ground up. And the Portal mode has content that is available from Battlefield 1942, Battlefield Bad Company 2, and Battlefield 3, Battlefield 5, and Battlefield 2042.
Hell yeah.
And we also have 6 maps from previous titles. We have Battle of the Bulge. We have Battle of the Bulge in El Alamein from Battlefield 1942. We have Arica Harbor and Valparaiso from Battlefield Bad Company 2. And my favorite map in Battlefield 3, Caspian Border. And Nostrar Canals. I don't know how you...
This will be the Dark Souls 3 of Battlefield. Oh my god.
It's just going to be utter chaos. I've seen...
honestly, because Dark Souls 3 had so many homages to Dark Souls 1, it was so cool. And even some layovers from Dark Souls 2. Some content, so it's just taking all the good stuff from the previous iterations, and they're like, you asked, we listened.
one thing that is very special about this is you can actually combine content from all of the battlefields that I mentioned.
Oh, that's so cool.
Say you want soldiers fighting soldiers from Battlefield 5. You want Battlefield 5 soldiers fighting people from Battlefield 2042? You can. Congrats. You want to have an all-airplane battle versus tank battle? Congratulations, you can. You want to have...
That sounds so much fun.
You want to have...
I didn't even consider it.
You want to have aircraft carriers versus aircraft carrier battles? Congratulations, you just made a battleship simulator. You can literally do everything. This is all about player freedom, and this is my most anticipated Battlefield, and I think this is going to end up... I know EA likes to mess with Battlefield sometimes. They did it with Battlefield 5. They did it a little bit with Battlefield 1. But I think this is going to end up being my favorite Battlefield. I really do.
Oh, absolutely. The way I described it was Portal Mode, a GTA 5 impromptu race creator for a first-person shooter. Incredible. No, really, it's incredible. And we have release date is October 22nd, 2021.
Apparently, and if you're playing on PC, it is going to be a $60 full price game. It is not going
$60 game on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. $70 for PS5, Xbox Series.
And
systems.
I've even seen some digital Steam codes going on, or some digital Origin codes going on sale for $7 off or around there. If you're playing on PC. So if you're playing on PC, I think it's a must-buy, in my opinion.
Absolutely. 100% must-buy.
100% must-buy. So on to our headline topic.
Oh, baby, here we go.
Oh wait, actually you take this one for a second.
Okay. So the big kahuna. It's here, y'all. Dead Space Remastered. We're going to witness the plight of Isaac Clarke in beautiful remaster and 4K, baby. So, I need to go into a little bit of a story, history between Kevin and I of the Dead Space series. One day, while I was spending most of my time, this is senior year of high school, right, Kev?
That's correct.
So,
no, it wasn't senior year of high school. It was junior year. I think we started this.
Okay.
Dead Space has been a long-running thing for us.
Yes, absolutely. First, I have to spend my next 2 paychecks on a GPU.
That's fair.
That is where I'm talking about the plight of Isaac Clarke here. That is the plight of Gamer Nation. So back in high school, one day I was over Kevin's house, and he was up in what was his room at the time, playing probably Warframe for the PS4. What's Warframe? And I went downstairs because my Xbox 360 was downstairs, and I had just bought a game. I had just bought Dead Space 1 and 2 on sale at GameStop. So, pulled up Dead Space 1, went upstairs. I was like, Kevin, let's play a spooky game. And he was like, no, I'm playing whatever. I don't remember what it was, because inconsequential to the story. I go back down, and I'm like sitting on my phone for a second. Dead Space's main screen came up. I was on my phone, and then suddenly, it goes into like what I'm assuming was the launch trailer, where it plays the scariest rendition of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star I have ever heard and ever will. I locked my phone and was just staring like a deer in headlights at this screen. It was the most terrifying thing I've ever seen, like, because I was going into Dead Space kind of blind. I was like, oh my god. And there's like flashes of like gruesome murder by those like alien beings. And after that finished playing, I went back upstairs and was like, Kevin, I can't play this game by myself. I need you to come downstairs. So he did. And then that was us starting our co-op journey through Dead Space, where we would play, one person would play 1 to 2 chapters, and then we would hand the controller off and the other person would play some. We got all the way through Dead Space 1, I believe on the hardest difficulty, We got all the way through Dead Space 2 on the hardest difficulty until the final fucking boss. No matter how hard we tried, we could not beat the final boss on the hardest difficulty. I watched, like, a couple months ago, Kevin streamed it. I watched him beat it, like, first try, and I was like, why did we struggle? How did we struggle? How did we struggle at that?
I think in my defense, I think it was much easier on a mouse and keyboard than on a controller.
That's fair. That is fair.
Controllers,
but I was watching it, and I was
aiming.
waiting for the rage to resurface, and it was just like one try over, and I was like, no, you got satisfaction, but I'm still angry.
You see, now you have to stream all 3 of the game. I was actually thinking I might stream the 3rd one with you. We should play it online together.
I would love doing that. That would be so much fun.
Because we still haven't beaten it, so like might as well.
I feel like we started it, but never.
We started it. We got through like chapter 2 and never finished it. So I think
it'll be fresh for both of us to get us hyped for the release.
Yeah, I mean it's the weakest in the trilogy, but like still I think it's necessary to like close that chapter before we move on to the next one.
Absolutely. So things mentioned alongside the reveal of Dead Space Remastered. EA said they're confident that their work with Frostbite game engine, it will bring much more fluid and enhanced visuals, which excited about. They also said improved story, character, and gameplay mechanics. So I'm not sure, like, for, like, especially, like, the story and character mechanic improvements, or just improvements in general. I'm curious.
One of the things that it's funny that you bring that up. I was actually going to talk about one of the ones they could do. So you know how you have
Isaac Clarke is silent in the first game. Do you think they're going to add dialogue for him?
No, because this is in the Frostbite engine. I was thinking, you know how, like, I think it was a hardware. I can't tell if it was a hardware. It wasn't a hardware limitation. It couldn't have been at the time. You know how in the first Dead Space you had to hold down a button to run. You had to like hold down, like, I think it was A on the Xbox controller. This time, I think because it's a Frostbite engine, which is primarily for the Battlefield and the Battlefront games,
left stick click.
Left stick click. I think that's gonna be it, and it's gonna be shift.
Right.
Gonna be shift for the. I mean, it was shift before, so like not much on PC and not much to do there. But that's one of the like gameplay mechanics that I imagine that they'll do better with.
Yeah.
Another one.
Sorry, you continue.
Another one that I think they might experiment with is I don't know. I'm not personally a big fan of this one. Is they might give Isaac a HUD, like a shooter game. I think that would make it a little too Gearsy.
Yeah, I see. I wouldn't complain if they gave it like a toggle option where you can go from third or to first person.
Yeah, like it's enabled. It's disabled by default. Oh no, I'm not talking about like changing the third person perspective. We know it's going to be in third person. I'm just talking about like, will he have a HUD to like show how much ammo he has, as opposed to like reading on the gun how much ammo you have, which I actually like, and I thought that was like a really good choice.
It's it's one of the thing in my mind. One of the things that Halo really did well.
Yeah, I was a big fan of that. So that's just a couple of the things that I'm immediately like, oh, they might do this, they might do this. They also say they want to up the horror aspect of it, which I'm pretty excited about. I am interested to see how they do that, though, because apparently the people working on this worked on Battlefront 2 and Squadrons, not exactly horror games. So I'm excited to see.
Yeah, let's see what they do when it's something out of their element.
They must be contacting Visceral Games, like some of the original writers and developers of the game, to like get their like pointers on this.
Speaking of just you bringing up Visceral Games, can't wait for. Oh my God, it's the something protocol, the Callisto protocol. Callisto protocol. That looks so good. Can't wait for more news.
That's from Visceral, right? No, what? It's not from Visceral.
It's from the. It might not be the same studio, but it's from the creators.
I was gonna say after Dead Space 3 came out, Visceral bankrupted.
Yeah. So sorry, that's I misspoke. It's not Visceral Studios, but it's the people who created Dead Space.
Gotcha. So some of the writers got together. They went there. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, but I'm pretty excited about it. No microtransactions either, a la Dead Space 3. So you're not going to be seeing any of that in there either.
Thank God.
Another thing that I would like to bring up is the devs working on this are actually interacting with the community, saying what would you guys most like to see return, so that this feels as much like Dead Space as possible. We don't want it to feel like a different game that's just a continuation. We want it to feel like that same tense.
We want it to feel like Spider-Man.
We want it to feel like that tense, claustrophobic, that sort of like pit in the pit of your stomach, gut feeling that like you don't know what's gonna happen next. Dead Space vibe. So they're interacting with the community on this, and they're seeing like they got focus groups and everything of people who played the 3 games, and they're saying what would you guys like to see return, which I think it's a big fan of. If EA did that with all their games, maybe they wouldn't be where they are today. But I digress.
They're walking towards the light. I feel like
that's what I'm saying. I think they're on an upswing.
After this Play Live event, I'm like, okay, I will say it out loud. EA's future is hopeful.
It is not dark.
It has been in the past.
Right now, it is adequate.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk
still no release date? So
no release date. We literally only have
this was just the announcement.
Only have a teaser for it. Go watch the teaser if you. It gave me chills. I love it. So I'm gonna watch it again after this.
Absolutely. No, and like Kevin showed me he sent me the link to like the entire event, and it was like skip to this time slot or
timestamp.
Time marker. Timestamp. That's the word I was looking for. And the reveal of it was so well done. Oh my! That tops the Sephiroth reveal from the Game Awards that I mentioned to you when you brought it up. Like, that was easily my favorite game reveal of all time. It was so unnerving. He like walked over and he was talking, like ending the event, and there's like this big double door that's like open and completely like dark past the door, and there's like a flickering light above it, and you're just, oh, that's ominous. If you didn't see the event, scroll to the end for the Dead Space reveal. It was so well done.
It was so well done.
Now on to other gaming news besides the EA Live event. There was a recent leak saying that potentially Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages and Seasons may be getting the Link's Awakening treatment and being remade for the Nintendo Switch. I never played Oracle of Ages and Seasons. I also hadn't played Link's Awakening. Kevin, you just picked up Link's Awakening, right?
I did. It's arriving at my house later today.
Ooh, well, you know what? Let's look into it. Let's look into the graphically inferior game to Breath of the Wild. Okay, to our watchers, I have to formally apologize to Kevin. I got so mad when we were talking. He mentioned something about the Diamond and Pearl remakes for the Switch.
Okay, so my hot take was that, in my opinion, the graphics of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, they don't look as good overall as Sword and Shield. That is what I said. Overall.
I got so mad for no reason. And yesterday, like, this was like a couple days ago, and then yesterday at work, he mentioned he picked up Link's Awakening, and immediately I was like, wait, so you, like, in my head, I heard that as, like, he didn't like the art style of it, which is like the little chibi guys. So when he mentioned he picked up Link's Awakening, I was like, wait, so you'll pick up Link's Awakening as a remake, but not the Diamond and Pearl remake?
Which is the whole thing. You were confusing graphics with art style. That's the whole thing.
But, like, rethinking about it, I was just riding a high through that Pokemon event a couple months ago. It is not as up to snuff graphically as Pokemon Sword and Shield.
At least when it comes to battles. At least when it comes to the battle sections.
They borrowed a lot of, especially in battles, a lot of sprites and animations from previous titles. My biggest thing was that it's not Game Freak, a third-party developer was brought in by Game Freak to do that game because they're focusing on their mainline games like Sword and Shield and the up-and-coming Pokemon Legends Arceus, which looks so fucking cool. Even in the pre-alpha footage, it looks so cool. But yes, I would like to apologize for exploding on. It was so fast yesterday.
And it also didn't make any sense because that implies, even if it was true that I didn't like the art style of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which it isn't. I actually prefer it to Sword and Shield. Even if I didn't like it and I liked Link's Awakening, that's implying that you're assuming that I'm buying video games based off of art style alone, which is
and not franchise preference. Yeah.
Franchise or gameplay, story, anything else don't fucking matter.
But Link's Awakening is cheap. This is no. You know what? No, I'm gonna drop it. I apologize. I am not gonna dig myself back into the grave.
Oh my goodness. I'm so mad. We got a Pokemon fanboy.
I have to say, yesterday when I was starting to blow up at him, and to the point where I put my hands on his cheeks, I was like, you were actually getting
red.
I was getting so mad. I had said out loud, I am not a Nintendo fanboy. I am a Game Freak fanboy. Okay.
It's also irrelevant because Game Freak wasn't working on the project.
Moving on. Before I get mad again for no reason.
We're both right. Why am I mad?
That happens so much. I get mad and we're both arguing the same thing. Can we please move on? I want to say the next thing.
You go move on. I'm surprised at this.
Everyone rejoice! Fall Guys has announced a Ratchet and Clank event. You can get Ratchet and Clank skins, guys. Let's all get on Fall Guys like we do every day with our friends. Kevin, who's still playing Fall Guys?
From what I understand, Twitch streamers, and that's about it. It's still popular on Twitch.
Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, it's fun. I would say that it's a fun game to talk over. Essentially, what we're doing here while playing Fall Guys. I can see how that's.
I'm glad the game exists. It's a good, fun, casual battle royale.
Yeah.
I think the reason it wasn't as successful as people were expecting was because it was around the same time that Among Us was super popular again. So I think that's why, it was bigger than Fall Guys, which was crazy. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know anyone who plays Fall Guys.
No one in my
casually
circle actually play it.
Yeah.
All right, now back to some more serious topics. California has sued Activision Blizzard over gender discrimination in their workplace, and that chunk to swallow aside, the player base is in full of Activision Blizzard games is in full support of the lawsuit. They were holding what I can only describe as in-game rallies in World of Warcraft. The players were this is awful.
Protest,
they need to change.
It's a sit-in protest, yeah.
Yep.
Allegedly, I don't have any proof, so I'm gonna protect myself. I'm gonna protect me and Jared from a lawsuit. Allegedly, Activision Blizzard has been criticized over a quote frat boy culture in the upper management sections of leadership there. women in the workplace at Activision Blizzard comprise about 20% of the company as a whole, as opposed to 80% men. And many women describe an experience as a frat boy culture in which they are frequently unwantingly, I don't know how to say it, touched unsolicited, and like many of them report groping, sexual assault, in a quid pro quo situation, because those who don't put up with this abhorrent behavior may be denied promotions or considered more for termination than others that do, which I think is disgusting.
Absolute scum. Oh my god.
Apparently they have I almost don't even want to say this. They do these things in the culture. I watched a TikTok content creator who used to work for Activision say that this is 100% true. I saw it with my own eyes happen there. He was like, they do these things called in the Activision headquarters, they do these things called cube crawls. Which is what that is the upper leadership apparently will get drunk at work and go cubicle to cubicle to see which woman they can accost and assault. Which I think is just reprehensible. I told Maddie yesterday.
That's gonna make me sick.
Jesus
Christ.
I told Maddie yesterday I don't think I probably already wasn't going to, but I'm probably not gonna buy another Call of Duty the rest of my life because of this.
Well, and after we finish talking about this, there's another thing to talk about Call of Duty about.
Yeah,
but so we'll hear more. This came out 2 days ago. The suit was filed 2 days ago. We're gonna hear more on it.
Apparently, the president of Activision Blizzard disavowed the people claimed, and the suit didn't name anyone specifically. It's just it's just acknowledging that it's going on. But the president of Activision Blizzard said that this is what did he say? It's completely absurd, something like that, something along those lines. He was like, "This."
Is it like denying the claims, or is he like in support of it because he doesn't want that in the workplace?
No, he's in support of it, but like my cynic brain is like, oh, he's just doing damage control. Because like my idea is like, you're at a big company like Activision Blizzard, and you're in one of the highest of leadership roles there, and I'm like, you had no idea something like this was going on.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? But then again, Activision Blizzard is a massive company, so like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not the one to make that decision.
Also, currently, besides that, Ubisoft and Riot Studios are also under fire for the same reasons.
Yeah, me too. Me too, Maddie. Yeah. Ubisoft has been under fire for a while. To my knowledge, the Ubisoft and Riot allegations are not nearly as widespread as the Activision Blizzard ones, mainly because of the size of Activision Blizzard, in that it literally dwarfs Ubisoft and Riot Games in comparison to its size.
With those, we thought it couldn't get worse, and obviously,
Activision Blizzard is a gaming giant,
and the behind the scenes from this lawsuit is I can't even put it into words how awful that is.
Yeah. I obviously hope people get held accountable for these things that they're doing. These are obviously morally reprehensible, and supposedly that HR in Activision Blizzard, this is from like some people directly inside the company who claim to have been harassed in this manner. Supposedly HR will drag their feet on these issues and try to make it go away as well. They try to sweep it under the rug, like, the whole quid pro quo thing. But yeah, I hope that gets resolved. It's gonna be the suit is gonna take years, but I hope that I
hope it's seen through and the people who it's effective get justice.
I hope that the victims get what is it? Reparations? Is that the word for it?
Yeah.
Reparations. I hope they get the support they deserve from this as well. So yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier that you weren't going to play a Call of Duty game, or like get another Call of Duty game, which I'm totally like. I can totally agree.
Like aside the fact that the company is totally fucking disgusting for allowing these actions.
Yeah, and
like the games just aren't that good.
Want to support those actions.
Yeah, the games just aren't that good, regardless of that fact.
Call of Duty Warzone, its newest update removes the report offensive chat feature. They defended it as the developers are investigating a link between that feature and game crashes, which even still, it's incredibly suspicious because the second you take report offensive chat out of the game, we're back to Xbox 360, Xbox Live Call of Duty chat, which I played Call of Duty Black Ops 2's campaign in early high school and was like, wow, this game is fun. Got on multiplayer once. I went 0-15 because it was my first multiplayer game in any like shooter. My teammates made me so upset that I started crying. I feel like I mentioned it like in a previous Amusement Mile.
That's why as terrible,
it was vicious.
As terrible as the culture around Activision Blizzard is, I am not at all surprised to find out that it's happening. I'm not at all surprised. You think I'm surprised to find out that a video game maker that makes games specifically for frat boys has a frat boy culture in their workplace? Like, that doesn't surprise me at all. And I'm surprised it surprises as many people as it did. It's like gross and disgusting that it's happening, but like in the world we live in, I've seen other games journalists say like it's almost expected to come out at this point, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But yeah, big load of donkey butt. That's what that is.
Big load of donkey butt. Both of those last two topics. Fuck Activision. They've got a lot of mess to sort out.
Yep. And did you want to say the last little bit?
Yeah. So to get whiplash from my turnaround, that I'm about to hit you with. Here's some gaming trivia. Woo! Did you know that originally when Pokemon was being created, before it had its iconic slogan, "Gotta catch 'em all," there were two other options for the slogan that were being tested, and this came out in an interview with the guy who sang the Pokemon theme song, which is now iconic. He was saying that they were toying around with several slogans, including "Gotta catch 'em all." I'm not sure what the other one was. I have to look into that article, but the one that he mentioned was "Catch 'em if you can," which it like just Pokemon catch 'em if you can. It doesn't sound right, and you think like, how would it have sold? Like when it came out in the 90s.
That
like,
might have something to do. That might have something to do with. I think Pokemon was 99, right?
Either 99 or 98.
I think that was
States. I think States. It came out in early 2000s.
I think that was around the time the movie Catch Me If You Can came out. So they might have chosen to steer clear of that.
Interesting. So they might have considered that, but they ultimately went with "Gotta Catch 'Em All" because it helps with marketing. Because it's ingrained in the name of the series. You gotta catch 'em all. So it influences you to want to catch them all, and that's why you like so many diehard Pokemon fans seek to complete the Pokedex in game. Like they put in the work because they want to catch them all because that's what we were told to do. So it's really interesting because it makes you wonder, like I was previously saying, makes you wonder, would Pokemon be as big as it is today if the slogan was Pokemon, catch 'em if you can? But yeah, that was just my little bit of gaming trivia.
It's food for thought.
Food for thought. Things that make you go, huh.
Things that make you go, I gotta catch them all. But you have anything else you want to say? I'm all set.
I have nothing I want to say.
Alrighty.
Past fuck Activision, fuck Nintendo.
Fuck
Catch 'em if you
Activision.
can.
Fuck Nintendo. Fuck Amazon.
Oh yeah, fuck Amazon too.
Jeff Bezos in particular, and Facebook.
Yeah. Fuck Facebook security.
But thank you guys so much for joining us at this Amusement Mile. We'll be back.
Know what to watch this week. It's been a hectic week.
It's been a slow week as well. Like there's not much. You can go
not
look it up yourself.
Lot. I mean, Beastars Season 2 is on Netflix. The intro is not as much of a banger as Season 1's, but we're probably never going to hear from Ally again, the band Ally, because I found out a couple months ago, why their music was taken off of Spotify, being Wild Side, the Season 1 Beastars intro, and Lost in Paradise, the first outro of Season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen, both bangers. Found out why they were taken off Spotify. Ally's drummer was arrested for bank scams.
Oh, bank scams! I was not.
Yeah,
expecting,
bank scams.
I was not
scamming.
I was not. You talk about like check fraud?
No, it was like disguising yourself as a official, having people withdraw money from the ATM. Promise for them to be reimbursed, which they are not.
Oh, so impersonating a bank teller, basically, right?
Yeah, impersonating an official and like scamming people.
Bank representative. Damn.
Yeah, so they were also, I guess now, like just a little bit of anime at the end. Sorry about this. We started the outro, but it came up. They were slated to do the intro for the up and coming World Ends With You anime series, based off of the game of the same title. And now they are changing the intro.
Sad. Big sad.
Rip Ally, great band, shitty drummer. All right, that's all.
That's all the news we got this week. We'll be back next week at the same channel at the same time. So thank you so much for watching.
Thank you guys so much. Love